Okay, here we are. We are continuing, and now we are ready to jump into the visual delivery. Can you imagine? So, all these techniques, they should be really working out for years. Year to year, day to day, you will be improving your skills. But when it comes to the visual delivering, it comes the first. So when we see you, we need to trust you. We need to know that this is the person who knows what he or she is talking about and how to involve your audience there and how to attract their attention by your visual form. This is what we are talking in this episode. So this full episode will be dedicated to the visual form. Let's start here. So, what should be considered as a visual form? You can put a pause here and think about that. What do you think should be the key points of your visual form? Visual form is like the way that we treat you, that we know that what are you talking about, and everything like that. The way that we see you as the person in front of the camera. So even if we don't turn on the sound, I need to provide as a speaker, I need to provide you with a great full level of energy. That's why I recommend you to check if your video or audio delivering is great enough. Check it separately. So you take your phone, turn on your video, and just turn off the sound and check what. And even you can take and make a test. You turn on TV, you see what you see the person as a TV host, and you think, just try to think about the positive, or which how positive this information is. Or Because many people, they face the problem like deliver the message will be about something positive, but the delivering either sound like your audio delivering or visual effects, it can be more applicable to something negative. That's why we need to combine and use all this bundle of information for you to use it in the right way and place and moment. That's why let's talk about visual delivering. Visual delivering is something where we work with our image, with our output, clothes, everything which should be delivered in the right way. Your message should be covered here, and your message start not with the words hello and welcome. Your message starts with your output, your image, and how you look like in front of the camera. Your colors, your makeup, your props. Use props. It's a great idea to use props and to grab your audience attention here. So this will be the great option for you to try to do this in a very, very specific way. So, my dear friends, let's start working on our visual delivery. We all know that our visual delivery, uh, it shouldn't be a very well prepared presentation, because it like over prepared, because while talking about visual delivery, it's something vivid, so it's something active which is continuing while you're presenting. That's why in the preparation stage you need to think just about the clothes, the frame, your background, and what should be included there. Your props, for example, my props here will be the notebook, because I highly recommend you to write down all the necessary advices, tips, and insightful thoughts which come to your mind. That's why using props according and connected with your topic, with your message, will be the great idea to enlighten people into your topic and your expertise, maybe even so. Working as a beauty specialist, for example, cosmetologist, it would be better for you to start work with your visual delivery in your office and your working place, using your everything, your clothes, your props should be connected with your expertise. That's why your story begins with your visual delivery. Think about your background. Look around. What is good about your background and what is not good? What should be fixed? This is are my advice for you about visual delivering, but it's also it all only connected with the frame. Let's talk about our Gestures, what else can be included in visual delivery? Our gestures, our eye contact, the level of your camera. The hint is here, it should be eye leveled. Your output, your posture, your frame, and how to build the frame which will work for you. And of course, it should be connected with your smile and facial expressions. These are main things which should be connected and which should be prepared before regarding your visual delivery. That's what I'm telling you every time when we work over Zoom. Correct your visual delivery. What do you think should be corrected here? What do you think should tell the story in much easier way? So think about that now, and let's start working with this now again. Let's start with your facial expressions. So when it comes to visual delivery, you need to think and to know how you look like in front of the camera. Many of my students, they told me like, okay, when I record myself, when I see those videos, I'm not satisfied with my facial expressions. So while listening to others, many people in the interview format, they are just sitting like this and listening like this. No, it shouldn't be that way. You should always think about your visual, your facial expressions as a part of visual delivery. How attractive are you in the frame? How attractive and involving are your facial expressions? So we need to activate and use our brows, our eyes, and our lips like a smile. These are main points for you to practice. Now, please think about this, remember this, and tell me if you have a rehearsal in front of the mirror, do you use the mirror as a way of rehearsing something? Like you have rehearsal, you use the mirror. Is it about you? If yes, stop doing this. Why? Because when you see yourself in front of the mirror and you start doing like, like while making photo like this, when you see camera, you don't see any mirrors. And that's why your muscles should be well prepared for that. You should put and take and keep your posture, your eyes and wide open, and your brows expressing that specific emotion and feeling which you want to share with your audience, which you want to include in your presentation, which you want to activate in their attitude. For example, if you want them to smile, you need to smile because they will reflect you. If you want them to feel some sympathy to your guest, you need to express this feeling. It should be done just with your brows and something like this. So what my recommendation for you will be to create the list. It's really important, guys, here to be focused. Create the list of your emotions. Think about your program, first of all. Think about your program. Create the list of your emotions, which you should cover and you should show your audience, like anxiety, sympathy, or some encouragement, something like surprise. You can be surprised. And just train them. How to train them? You stand in front of the mirror. Yes, you do that. You put camera here at the side, and you look in front. You look to yourself in front of the mirror. You try to freeze your emotion which you would like to train. Like, for example, let's train surprise, like this. Then you freeze. You move. Turn here into your camera and try to relax and then repeat that again only to your camera. Try to put a video and record yourself in that way for you to be very, very attractive for your audience, to activate their same emotion. Try to do that. That's how we can train our muscles and memory for our muscles. Because in the real life, in the real, live where you will be, for example, delivering breaking news or gathering people together over the show, trying to do your best in the interview, your main tools which you use will be your visual delivery. That's why we need a TV host. Why not to put just a text as in interview, just a text as a question and then just an answer of our guest? No way, because we need a TV host, the person who will show our audience what to feel, what to think, and how to mm, what attitude to have to this information. So this is what we need to activate, and this is why we are here in front of the camera in the show. We are here in front of the camera for two reasons. On the one hand, we deliver emotion. This mostly about the delivering. On the other hand, we deliver information. This mostly is about the message. The message is soon to come here in our episode, but now we're talking about the visual delivering because the audio delivering we discussed before. So it should be your diction, articulation, breathing techniques. Also, you can find in the additional materials our videos how to breathe. But mostly we'll talk about that on our Zoom classes because while delivering a huge part of information, you can feel some difficulties with your breathing. You will feel that you're out of breathing at all. That's why I will recommend you to do some exercises while counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one exhale, only that, and push it harder at the end of these countings. This video you can find in the link below. But now we're talking about our visual delivery, which consists of eye contact, level of your camera, your facial expressions, which we are talking about now, your gestures, of course, and your frame, how to build the frame, how to build your image, your output, how to pick up the clothes, which is really adjustable for this event. That's why we're talking too long and so much about how people will treat you. That's preparation stage is not about the messaging mostly, it's about the delivery, and that's why it should be something new for you. But if you knew that before, great. Let's remind and revise all these hints which make you feel yourself as a TV presenter. That's why your facial expressions should be with your brows, your or surprise. We activate here. If it's something sad, we use this. If you want to feel and activate something positive, just smile. Smile before you start, not in the process. Smile and keep your eyes wide open because it's really important here to experience that you are here connected with us. Don't look somewhere. Eye contact is a second point for visual delivery. It should be only straight with your camera lens if you are working on the camera, or eyes of your students, of my students, or of your audience. If you're delivering and making public presentation, don't forget to look only inside of your audience eyes. You can change and switch spots, like you look on the right side, on the left side, and just straight, or you pick the attention from the nearest part or the middle, or the most part which is most far ahead from you. But when talking with the camera, your eyes should be only inside of your camera. So don't forget about eye contact as the second part of visual delivery. And here we have the third advice for you: eye leveled camera lens. So you find your camera. Most of my students, they record videos on their front camera of their phone. I will remind you, front camera is here. Not don't look at yourself. Just look either in this camera or in this camera. This is your camera lens. You should fix it somewhere eye level and look only there. That's it. That's super easy. Now we're continuing talking about visual delivering, and we'll jump into the frame. What is the frame and how to build it in the right way? So a few rules about the frame. When you record yourself, for example, when you would like to start your YouTube channel, that's a great way to start. That's a great way to make it professional. That's why you need some knowledge about that, how to build this frame. So when you done everything with your eye leveled camera lens, it's really time for you to start talking. If you record some online courses or classes for your audience, provide yourself with the really perfect background for you in order to tell the story. Your background should tell the story. If you're a nutrition coach, record your videos in the kitchen. If you're the trainer, like a fitness trainer, record your videos in the gym. So your frame should be really about not with the wall, not just don't stand just behind the wall. You need to stand somewhere which where the frame, the story will be told even without words. So your clothes, everything should be about what is your video about. But few tips about the frame. So put your camera eye level, then grab your frame here under your waist, activate your arms, and soon we'll talk about gestures. Activate your arms, and of course be ready to put and adjust your lines. Your lines should be parallel, not this way. Your horizon, I hope you know what is that. Your All the lines in your frames should be parallel to your frame of the video. That is professional. And the most insightful advice for you will be about the deep point of your frame. So you need to make a test. Put on your hand and move it forward. If you feel the space behind your back, that's a great option for you to start recording. Because even if you choose where to record yourself and you are just in the room, stay somewhere in the middle of the room for this background, for this frame to be very deep. Because if you use the deep background, it will be the great option for you to prevent some feelings that your frame is very plain and very unattractive. So don't do this. Use these rules to provide yourself with a great frame. Now, when you know everything about the frame, let's talk about your hands. And the first thing before gestures, I would like to pay attention to the props. As I told you, use the props. Use something which is near you. Every time, think about the props. Don't think about the message. Think about the delivery and how you can attract the audience attention. That's why if you have the props only like this, use it. Tell something where you fit it. This will be the great option for you how to grab audience attention. This will be the great option for you how to be very attractive in your speech. And if you have something only like you don't know how to use it in your videos, you need to be creative here. Imagine you have only a lipstick. How you will use it? How you will, if you do something with the lipstick, it will grab your audience attention here. So activate your hands, show something, demonstrate something, even if it's like if you are reporting news from somewhere, if your hand is holding a microphone, great, your second hand is free. That's why you can use this hand to show something. At least you can demonstrate something. But here we'll move and transfer to our gestures as a part of visual delivery. Let's talk about gestures, how to attract audience attention by your gestures, and for them for you to deliver the information more clear than it was before. So we have two hands, it's easy, and both of them should be involved in your gestures. Main starting point for you before you start, feel that your elbows are not pressed to your body. You should feel free here. Your shoulders should be very, very easy to move. Your neck and head should feel free. That's why a small warm up will be really necessary here before you start. So 5 minutes away from your presentation, you know what to do. At least up to from 5 to 10 actions are required there in order to prepare and activate your visual delivery. But if you forget something, you always have these materials to revise it. So while being in front of the camera, you need to express flexibility, that like you're very flexible and relaxed to deliver the information. You're confident enough in that what you're saying, and you will be very attractive to listen to. People will look up to you. Can you imagine? So using our gestures means that we need to highlight some information, additional information for your audience, which can be delivered in a very clear way. That's why we need both of our hands. But if you if you pick your microphone here, even with your one hand, you will be able to use um, to show all gestures that you have. So we have 7 gestures, and I will tell you one more tip and advice how to involve your audience and how to plan your content, your message, only relying on your gestures. Let's start. So while being flexible, you need to activate your arms. We can start with the first gesture of presentation. Presentation, it means when you point on yourself or on your audience or on somebody who are standing near you. And you can imagine here my brother, he is taller than me, one head more. So something like that. Presentation is a great start for you to activate and to show your audience that you are not stuck. You are flexible in delivering. So me and my audience. Hello, my dear friends. This is me, Yara, and today we're talking with you about your problems and how to solve them. This is the opening part of my presentation. So me, you, or somebody. This is the first gesture called presentation. What I recommend you to do now to create the phrases and sentences like like a foundation, a base to your text. That's why if you know the gesture, try to create the text for this gesture. This is absolutely basically where my advice is here. Don't create gestures for your text. Create text for your gestures. Let's say if you have the gesture presentation, create some phrase or sentence about that. Try to do this just right now. So, hello, I'm Yara, and this is our class for TV presenters, and I hope you will become TV presenters soon. And you try to use these gestures for your own information and text regarding your famous maybe program or your dream program or your dream format of speaking in front of the camera. Try to do this. Put the pause and do this. We'll jump into the second gesture. It is called accents. So when we want to highlight something, this gesture requires us to make an intonation highlight as well. So when talking to the camera, we need to talk like, imagine this fact. So this gesture can be, imagine this fact. Imagine. So you need to activate your content, your message and audio delivering for this gesture. For example, in presentation, you just can say, this is me, this is you, but here we need to activate our audio delivering as well. Put additional intonation stresses here. It's easy and helpful for you because any sentence should contain one stressed word. Don't forget about that. But I will remind you in the episode of the content of the messaging system. So while being so flexible with your gestures, let's jump into the third one, like denials. What can you deny? Put the text just right here. What can be highlighted and what can you deny? Like don't forget about your dream. They don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. We don't know the information ahead. So any format can be based on this gesture as well. Don't forget about that. Use this gesture and just create the phrase for this gesture just right here, right away. So put the pause and create the phrase. We have 3 gestures now. It is presentation, accents, and denials. Denials are implemented just right here. This gesture or this one or this. You can choose, up to you and up to the format for your presentation. Let's go forward and let's say we can we can take the gestures enumerating. It's super easy to enumerate something. For example, the main content for visual delivering will be the main key points will be eye contact, will be your facial expressions, your eye-leveled camera, and your frame. So I use one hand to turn on my fingers uh, for another hand. But if your one hand is occupied, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job, my dear friends. So this is how it can be done here. Let's think about something more. But here, before we move to the second part of our gestures, I would ask you to create the sentence, create the plan for this gesture of enumerating. Enumeration will be the great point of view when you need to structure something just near ahead. Enumerate something. Great job. Let's continue talking about comparison, like when we have or division, like we have 2 points, we need to combine them or divide them, like making them separate. For example, our delivering is divided into 2 parts. By the way, this gesture is called numbers: 2, 1, 5, 7. Great job. Put some numbers into your presentation and create phrases according to this gesture. But we can divide our delivering into 2 parts: audio and visual delivery. That's a great job. That's a great point to combine. When you use your 2 hands, you can show this. When one hand is occupied, you use one hand to divide something or to combine. I don't know what to pick. On the one hand, I would like this. On the other hand, I would like this, but I will take both. This gesture is the last one. It is called demonstration. So demonstration is one of our last gestures, which I shared with you in one of my additional videos to this class. But demonstration is what you should realize when you want to demonstrate something, you use this gesture. For example, if somebody is strong, if you are free, if you have the beautiful dress, these are all the combination for gesture demonstration. That's why I encourage you to put now the plan of gestures. So you pick up your pen, you you write down the list of gestures and try to create the phrase up to this gesture. And this will be your new way of creating the message, the powerful message, which will start from your delivering. And here we are. We started from our delivering and we're moving forward to our structure. And we finish here with our delivering and we're moving forward to the next episode of the messaging. The last episode of this class will be the messaging and message system, how to create the plan and structure all of your bundle of information. Stay tuned.